It was a steamy, hot day here in Ashburn, Virginia at the Big Bear AI Performance Center as the Washington Commanders held training camp practice number 10. That's right, they're moving along rapidly as far as their training camp sessions. And today was another practice where you saw both sides of the ball have their moments. The newly reconstructed wide receiver room had several nice plays today, but you also saw some nice plays from the secondary. The edge rushers were getting to the quarterback at times, but then there were times where they were stoned by the tackles. And speaking of tackles, the big story today is the fact that left tackle Laremy Tunsil walked off the field looking like he was favoring his arm. As of this time right now during this stand up, I don't know the extent of the injury. I'm not sure how serious it is, but I do know the gentleman that we're going to have joining me here in a second, big man Trent Scott. We talked about it after practice, and obviously you don't want to see anything like that happen. So hopefully it's not anything too serious. So we're going to bring in Trent Scott here in 1 second and get his take as far as these training camp practices. As I mentioned earlier, I have big man Trent Scott joining me. And remember, you can hear Trent and myself on ESPN radio during the season on Tuesdays. And he was gracious enough to come out here. Normally we don't get the guys like this, in between a practice.
Yeah,
But my guy came out here to talk about training camp, practice 10. Can you believe it's gone by that fast?
I couldn't even tell you what day it is right now.
it's what? It's Saturday. See, I'm
Saturday, yep, there
confused
we go.
myself. So tomorrow we have off.
Yep, yep.
So when you get those days off, what do you do?
Finding some way to take care of the body, man. Usually coming up here to the facility, getting some treatment in, get a little workout in, do some kind of active recovery, doing some type of something to get the body back.
Right. Today was one of those practices where I saw good things from both sides of the ball. And you remember earlier in camp, the defense was kind of having their way. And it
Yeah,
seems like recently you guys been punching them back in the mouth. So are you starting to see that iron sharpens iron?
for sure, man. You said it. I mean, we talked about that on the show before. I mean,
Hmm.
like I kind of saw it back at OTAs that this camp was going to be a good back and forth iron sharpening iron situation. So I mean, it's good to see the defense flying around like that. I'm glad that the offense we came out here and responded and uh, we got ourselves going and executing on our end too. So I mean, it's good. We want those guys to be successful, but this time of year that's who we competing with day in and day out. So
So
it's
you
good.
know the two big storylines is one from yesterday. Stephon Diggs was
Hmm.
out here. He looks good, man. Like he looks crisp. He looks young.
Yeah, he looked good, man. Dude's in great shape. Obviously, we know his resume, man. Great player, done a lot of great things. Just recently, going uh, on a Super Bowl run. So I
Yeah.
mean, God knows ball, man. God's been playing for a long time, and we're excited to have him around here. Excited to have him as an asset for the offense.
Yeah, to see him and Terry, as a tandem, that's going to be something. And obviously,
Yeah,
Jaden's got to be super happy about that.
absolutely. And they connected a few times today, man. So
Sure
it's just
did. Sure
just
did.
seeing that early on, and the more they get those reps, and seeing where each other at, man, I think it'll be a great connection.
Now, on a more of a, we're gonna keep our hopes up, but Laramie walked off the field today, and whenever you see one of your leaders walk off like that, and Laramie's one of the toughest guys out there.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Laramie will be okay. We're not gonna give too much information because obviously the doctors have to do their jobs, but hopefully it's something that won't keep him out long.
Yeah, man. I mean, praying for Larry, man. Like you said, man, tough guy, one of our leaders, man. But I don't know any of the details yet, but I'm pretty sure he'll. I'm hoping and praying he'll be all right, though, for sure.
So one of the things that I heard through the grapevine yesterday when I talked to DQ, Coach Quinn, he shouted you out.
Uh,
Obviously I talked to him, about you, and he said that the versatility is just super important, and to have a guy like you. He mentioned Andrew Wiley as well, and then he mentioned to me that you were, taking some snaps at center at times.
yeah, man. I mean, I've done it before.
Uh
I've
huh.
been emergency center a couple of times in my career. Haven't had to get any action and play live or whatever. So, I mean, being when you're not a starter, man, you just got to kind of be ready for any and everything, And so, DQ and AP know that anything they need out of me, I'm willing to do it for the team right now. And they asked me to snap a little bit after practice to be ready for that, and so doing that to get it in.
So one of the things we had talked about on the show, and folks, obviously, I got big man Trent Scott joining me here in this recap. We're not going to have a 4-hour show. There's only going to be just another minute or so with Trent because he's gracious enough to give us his time in between practice right now. So something no one does. So you're never going to see
Yes, sir.
something like this.
Exclusive, baby.
Right, right. So One of the things that we had talked about was last year coming into this time. And obviously, we're not going to talk about last year, but just the intensity of the practices and things like that. You guys seem like this year, man. There's no not days off. There's no plays off. It's full sail ahead.
Yeah, I think, man, talking with DQ, I think he's doing a hell of a job of putting us in a lot of stressful real game situations. And, that's invaluable this time of year, man. We've done, obviously, this time of year people do 2 minute and 4 minute, but he's giving us situations like get back on track, being behind the chains, and all types of things. We're doing blitz, just a lot of different situations, stress situations, adding reps every day. We've been increasing reps. Did long drive drill today,
Yeah.
and so those are real game situations, man. You get a first down, you're still on the field. So can we keep attacking? Can we stay focused? We kind of went in, took a little break today, kind of treated it kind of like a halftime situation.
Yeah.
I've never done that before.
I
So that
just
was,
mentioned that was the
yeah.
first time I had seen
So
that.
that was interesting to be a part of. You come out and can you keep the level of focus up and keep it ramped up to continue practice. So that was that's cool.
Yeah, and it seems like the pace, like you're mentioning, but just like in between you guys getting back to the line, no, it's no huddles and all that stuff, but it sure seems like the tempo is a lot faster.
It's just playing with a sense of urgency, man. It's kind of something that Blau and DQ have harped on, and coming into this offense, man, you just see it's a different feeling when you can, just because we're not a tempo offense, you can still attack the defense by coming out of the huddle with a sense of urgency. So, we do a lot of communication at the line. Jay's in control of a lot of things, and so it's good for us to attack the line and give him time to do what he got to do.
So
So,
final thing before I let you go, and we're still on, so don't
yeah.
worry. What would you say right now? Obviously, it's still early. You still haven't even had the joint practice, which will be coming up on Wednesday against the Dolphins right here at Big Bear AI Performance Center. But do you see, like, as day 10, you guys just wrap that up, do you see that progression? Do you see you guys starting to build that steam?
Absolutely. I mean, with the offense, it just being a new offense, like I said back in the spring, I was ready for us to get out on the grass and see it. And you've seen it. You've seen it with the offensive line and the double teams coming together. You see it with Jay having connections with different receivers. You see it with the running backs hitting the holes better. And so, I mean, I think everybody's kind of, that's the thing about training camp. You always want to be doing this. It's never going to be,
Yeah.
every day
You
going
want
to
to
be
go
pretty.
backwards.
But as long as we doing this right here, in training camp, I think we're on the right path. And it'd be good to get, the Dolphins coming down here and go against some different competition and get ready for that game and get the preseason started. It'll be good.
So I know, I already know you. I know what you want to say, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Wednesday is going to get real, right?
Hey, man, like I said, it's always good to lay hands on fresh people, man. And so at this point, we're probably tired of going against each other, man.
Yeah,
It'd be good to have some
yeah.
fresh people come down here and get some work in.
So you heard it from him. I said it yesterday, but you heard it from an actual player.
Oh, yeah.
I know they're looking forward to not going up against their friends anymore. They want to
Yes,
put
sir.
hands on somebody else. So look, appreciate Trent for coming on with us. Again, he was gracious enough to come down, walk down the hill to come down here
Yes,
and join
sir.
me during this recap. So appreciate you coming on.
No doubt.
All right, my
My guy.
friend. So again, here from the Big Bear AI Performance Center, another practice that I would say overall was a good practice for this team, where they both, both sides of the ball got a chance to get some really good work in this sweltering heat. Dan Quinn actually broke practice up to give these guys a little bit of a break because it's that hot out here. Again, with temperatures feeling like over 100 degrees here on this field. So outside of the Laremy Tunsil, news, I think this team is trending in the right direction, and hopefully Laramie will be back and be okay. So here, once again in Ashburn, for ESPN Radio, I'm NFL insider Blake Lewis Jr.